Hey everyone, it's that Math Magician. On this video, we're going to see some more final review for our geometry course. We are working through this PDF full of problems that you will see on your spring final. So let's go ahead and jump into our next problem here. We're on question number 7, and it says that we want to examine the diagram at right, really it's below. It says given that triangle ABC is congruent to triangle EDF, we want to prove that triangle DBG is isosceles. And it says to use any format of proof that you prefer. That means we can use a flowchart or we can use a 2-column proof, whatever one we want to use. But this is interesting, right? We're trying to show that that little triangle inside here, the little triangle here of DBG, that triangle is an isosceles triangle. We might have to think back real quick. Let me draw that triangle kind of enlarged over here so we can kind of just visualize what we're talking about. This is DBG. We want to show that it's isosceles. Well, what does it mean to be an isosceles triangle, right? That might be important to us. Well, in isosceles triangles, it has 2 equal sides and it has 2 equal angles. So if I'm trying to prove that that triangle there is in fact isosceles, then I'm going to need to figure out what 2 sides are equal, if any, and then what 2 angles are equal, if any. And I need to do that either in a 2-column proof or a flowchart. I'll use a flowchart because why not? Let's do it, okay? Well, the first thing I'm going to notice about this triangle here is I actually do know that those angles there at D and B, I actually know that they are equal. The reason why I know that those angles are equal, whoops, where did my side of the triangle go? Just disappeared for a second. There we go. I know that those angles are equal because the larger triangles, right? The triangle ABC and the triangle EDF, those 2 triangles are congruent, which means that the respective angles have to be equal. That means that angle A is equal to angle E. It also means that angle C is equal to angle F. And then finally in the middle there you see angle B equals angle D. Those are the 2 angles there that I'm focusing on. I know for a fact that they are equal. And that's kind of big for us because if I'm trying to make this flow chart, right, I can already say off the bat that the measure of angle D is equal to the measure of angle B. Boom, I got my first bubble done for my flow chart. How do I know that? Well, I know that because triangle ABC is congruent to triangle EDF. That is the reason why I know that those 2 angles are equal. Now, we're doing okay right now, right? We got one part of that done, right? 2 equal angles, done. We figured that one out. The last thing I need to prove now is that we have 2 equal sides. And that's going to be the part where we might have to think a little bit about, but not too much, right? Hopefully, we want to show basically that the side GB is equal to the side GD, right? That's our hope. And then, let's just write that out in our little diagram here, that GD is equal to GB. If I can show that those 2 sides are equal, then we're good. And you know what? I think we can. And what I need to do is I need to actually take this bubble here and I need to scoot it down. Let's see if I can scoot it down. There we go. I'm actually going to scoot it right about here because I believe that our bubble from the first flow chart, that is actually going to help us prove that those 2 sides are equal. I know that those 2 sides are equal because notice this. Angle D opens up to GB. Angle B opens up to the side DG. And those 2 angles are equal. If you got 2 angles in a triangle that are opening up to opposite sides and those angles are equal, then we know for a fact that those sides there have to be equal as well. And the reason why I know that GD equals GB is because the measure of angle D equals the measure of angle B. Corresponding angles are going to go with their corresponding sides, those two sides are equal. And because of that fact right there, I have just proven that triangle DBG is isosceles because we have corresponding sides, two sides that are equal, and two angles that are equal. That is definitely an isosceles triangle. This was a little trickier. We don't see this type of problem as often, but again, nothing that you can't do. It's That Math Magician, and I'll see you on the next video.